All right, welcome. Happy Hump Day, happy Wednesday, and welcome to another edition of the Dating Diaries. My name is Christal XO, and I am one half of the Dating Diaries. The other half, of course, is
Hey,
Scorpio Moe. What's up?
what's up? What's up? Happy Thursday, everyone.
It is Thursday. I said Wednesday. You're right. It's Thursday. I'm so used to us doing these on Wednesdays, but it is Thursday. We missed Wednesday because I had an event to go to. I got invited to Alto Tequila, was celebrating Portia Williams. And you guys know I write about the housewives quite a bit. I talked about them quite a bit. And so I went. It was a nice event. It was nice. It was
Okay.
nice.
I saw the video. Saw a couple videos. Okay.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, they did it. It's interesting because we had Cynthia Bailey did Seagram's Escapes, and they actually sponsored one of our events. She was a great spokesperson, but I don't think she's with them any longer. But Portia, I guess that's a great partnership for her. Definitely. I mean, she has a signature peach drink, but yeah.
Okay.
That's what it was. That's where I was, and it was cool. It was cool.
Got you.
It was cool. How was your week so far?
Um, Believe it or not, it is all right. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but thinking positive and setting the tone for every day is extremely important. Even if there's a little turbulence, your mindset's still kind of like you reassure yourself or whatever, maybe possible affirmations in the morning. I do. And before I play the music, before I listen to any podcast, I just try to set the tone for the day, make the bed, just complete something. And
Right.
so when things do happen, I'm not so rattled, or if they do, I'm not embracing stuff toe on the end of the bed or a flat tire. It's like you just embrace yourself for the day, and I don't say, "Well, Dad, today's gonna be a bad." I don't speak like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm going into. I've kind of been going in life, but I have to remind myself every now and then. So how that is. Your week. We are in day 4 of the week. So
We are in day 4. I'm the same way. It's funny because I was saying this yesterday. What I've learned, it sounds like a lot of what you were just saying, is that we all have a responsibility to make ourselves happy. Happiness is your responsibility. If you are not, there's no one that can make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. And so I had, we had a bit of a family hiccup, actually a little bit more than a hiccup, but someone said, well, I don't think you're happy. And I was like, that's so strange because I don't think that anyone outside of you can tell you if you are happy or not. Right now, sometimes someone may be watching and they may know you pretty well, but happiness is, in my opinion, your children can't make you happy. Your spouse can't make you happy. Nothing can make you happy, but yourself. And also it is a choice. I think it's a choice. And I think, if you decide to be happy, then you find, it all goes back to like gratitude and finding ways to focus on the positive as opposed to the negative. So I actually think I'm happy, but I think that I became a happy person when I realized that it was all my responsibility. If I give someone else power to mess my day up, then I'm saying that person is more important in my life than me. I'm saying that they are the star player in my life. What's up, Consumer O? So I think that you can choose to be happy, and you can make that choice every day. You can make that choice every single day. Well, we're here, Dating Diaries. I think what I wanted to do today, we've got quite a bit to do. Okay, Blondie Monique says her birthday is tomorrow, so we'll have to make sure we are shouting her out. Happy early birthday. Let us celebrate today like it's tomorrow. Well, actually, you know what? We will be on tomorrow.
There you go.
So Blondie, we'll see you tomorrow night and we'll celebrate. Let's do a party for Blondie, maybe I don't know. We'll do some type of cool thing or fun thing with tomorrow's conversation to include Blondie if she's able to make it. But what I wanted to do is let's get our deal breakers, disasters, and dilemmas out of the way. The question for today is, when is it too soon to bring someone you're dating to a wedding? In the age of hard launches and soft situationship, +1 etiquette isn't so simple. How do you know when it's actually the right time to bring someone to a wedding? So before we get into that conversation, I want to focus on a dilemma, disaster, or deal breaker that included a wedding. And I will just say this. Okay, Blondie says she's going to an event at a jazz house tomorrow. She will not be hanging out with us. So we'll just have her birthday today. So tonight is Blondie's birthday since she's going to do something fun tomorrow. But that sounds great. So yeah, when do you know? When do you know? So let's talk about a disaster or dilemma or deal breaker that dealt with a wedding. And I will say, I'll start. You know, after my divorce, I did not attend a wedding for years. I stayed away. Why did that make you laugh? Why is that funny?
I mean, not that. I'm just like,
why do you just start laughing at my pain? What's happening? What's going on?
It's not very pain, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know.
You gotta share since you were tickled.
It wasn't at your pain, but my thing is, you couldn't be happy for someone else that was in a good space?
I could not. I was unable to go to a wedding. That's what I just said. I was unable to go because I went to Essence Music Festival right after probably like a year into my divorce dealings. And Music Soul Child was singing Love, you know? And I could not sit there through the performance. So at a wedding, no, I could not I could not be happy. I had to stay away. I sent great gifts, but I could not. And so I was asked one time to go to a wedding. I politely refused. And the first wedding I went to was in 2012 after getting divorced in 2008. And it was because I was working that wedding. So I was able to get a client's wedding in Essence. And that is the only reason I went, because I was like, this is a big deal. This is a big deal that I got her wedding in Essence. Like, this is huge. So I had to give the photographer directions because Essence wanted certain pictures to feature the wedding. And that was the first time I went to the wedding. But I just worked. I stayed in a working like capacity. So I was asked to several weddings, but I turned them down because I did not want to do that. The wedding that I did go to, this is horrible. The wedding that I went to and was working, I stayed in a working capacity, but then the reception, I did ask a date to come to the reception. Huge mistake.
How so?
This person I dated, I had been going out with him for maybe a month. And I've actually told this story before. He was someone that lied and told me, I met him online. He told me that he didn't have any money to feed his kids. And I loaned him like $200 and then I never saw him again. But he came to the wedding with me and it was not a good thing. Because like, if you ever brought someone someplace and people are looking like, y'all don't look like a good fit.
They said that?
That was the look. So I was like, he's with you? Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
It was bad. So anyway, that's my story. It was a very fancy, this is a client's wedding, so it was very fancy. He obviously did not fit in with the group of people that were there. He stood out like a sore thumb. I looked crazy for bringing him. I should have just left him at. I just should have not went out with him. But that's my story. That's my story. So obviously, a month is not long enough time to be dating someone, and they have a wedding to invite a person to go to a wedding with you. What say you? Do you have a example? Because you actually brought a date. This is so weird. You brought a date to my wedding.
Oh, to your wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Not you were like, ho, what are you gonna say?
I thought you was trying to talk about some current stuff. At
my wedding, you brought a date to my wedding, but I don't even remember the date.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Do you remember your date?
Yeah, I remember. She lives in Dallas right now. Shout out to her.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Did it end up being like a good experience?
I mean, I've known her, hung out with her before, but she just liked weddings, like the story I'm about to tell. And I told her I was going one, and she asked me, could she go? And then I asked her, could I bring someone? And that was just it. Nothing more, nothing less. She had a good time. I had a good time.
Did you guys dance? Did you dance at the reception?
We did dance at the reception. We did the spin around thing. Yeah. We had a good time. But the interesting thing was, we pulled up in the parking space, and next to it was a woman that you introduced me to, who I had went out on a date with her.
Yes, I remember.
Hung out with her twice, and then we all pulled up at the same time and walked in.
Horrible.
But in any case, the story I have to tell, I was going to a wedding with a girlfriend at the time, and a friend of mine called me, a celebrity friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he loves weddings.
Okay.
Where I was going, he said, yo, I was like, I'm going to, he was like, and I think it was the day before. It was the day before. And I had it on speakerphone, and my ex was like, you should invite him. I told her I didn't think that was a good idea.
Okay.
Like, call him back and invite him. It'll be cool. He likes weddings, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I called him, and he went.
And he came?
Yeah, but exactly what I knew what was going to happen happened. It took the attention off the couple. This is before like the cell phone. This was still like two-way pages.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was focused on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I didn't think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. They were over there. I mean, it was people seeing them because they're family, but a lot of other people wanted to take pictures with him. And
wow.
Sucked some of the air. I don't know. I didn't think it was cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told you. I was like,
I kind of had that dilemma because, Chili is one of my best friends. And it's so funny. Like, a lot of people were like, is she going to be in your wedding? I did not want to put her in for the same reason that you said. I know if she came, that because, I'm friends with her, but my family and my friends are not all super close to her. So I just felt like it was going to put a lot of attention on her, and she would feel obligated to take pictures and stuff with my family. So what happened is I got married and she was on tour that year. And we got married on a specific day because it's the day between both of our birthdays. My birthday is October 3rd. His is October 5th. We got married on the 4th. And so it had to be the 4th. It couldn't be a different day because we thought, what do we do with this day in between our birthdays? So once we locked that day in, she actually had a show that day. And so she couldn't cancel on the show. But I also felt like, well, it probably worked out better because I didn't want to put her in that position. We got married in 2021. It was right after COVID. We actually got married outside because a lot of people were still afraid of COVID. My great aunt, and my mom and my cousins that are older, they were concerned about COVID still. So I just think it would have been awkward, but she was upset with me because she felt her feelings were hurt. But I explained, she had a show and we couldn't move the date. And it wasn't because, and I talked to her like right before I got ready to go down the aisle. But yeah, I just saw in my head, like all my cousins and people asking her for autographs and her not being able to really just be a part of the wedding and not
And
have
that's
to be working. So I definitely get that.
and this was cell phone era. This was
Hmm.
really camera. But people have like disposable and things of that. And you got an echo, by the way.
I got an echo.
Now it's going now.
Okay.
But you know, but it was still a photographer there, and people was asking the photographer to take pictures of
them with the celebrity.
Yeah, it was not a good idea.
Wow. All right. Well, again, we want to remind everybody to say happy birthday to our girl Blondie Monique. So we've got our banner up there for everybody. Now, hey, you there? So we missed a couple of days because we didn't do this past Wednesday, and I did Monday, but we didn't do Friday. So before we get into every conversation tonight, I do think we should talk a little bit about the Never Ever Mets, Jay and Cinco. It's just been so much ridiculousness going on. We're gonna kind of give a breakdown of all the different things that have come out. But I will just say before we get into this, did you see Jay and Cinco? Did you see Jay exposing Cinco?
I did not, because the stuff we were pushing the dates back, so it threw me off. I was going to watch it, but then I didn't. So
okay, so we'll talk about that more on Friday. On Friday we'll have a whole breakdown. But I will say this: there is a lesson to be learned, and yes, she did have the screenshot on deck. I was shocked and appalled by that. We'll get into that, but everything that glitters is not gold. Everything that glitters is not gold. And I think it also reminds us that just because something looks good, like, I think it proves my point that no real dudes, real good guys with good intentions go on reality shows. I just don't think those two go together. I think that is definitely, this was proof, because everybody was talking about how nice he was. And I told you, I met one of the producers and he really liked him a lot as well. So it was a screenshot. It was a screenshot that Jay had. And I will just say this part, and I'll ask you, Mo, what you think. Jay immediately after they started, the show started coming on, right? Because obviously the show starts coming on and they haven't been filming in a while. So they had broken up after the second show. But she found out that he had a girl come to the hotel 2 days before they moved into the house and started filming. And he was intimate with this girl 2 days before. Okay. So the girl, this is what is wild to me. And it kind of works with what we're talking about. I don't understand why men do so much, because women today, y'all gonna get caught. The girl, he filmed the girl, he and the girl, and their intimacy. He filmed it on his phone. And so I guess he sent it to the girl. And the girl sent it to Jay to prove that, this is what happened. And so she was like, how dare he do this, 2 days before we started. If he was serious, why would he have done that?
I'm confused now.
Why are you confused?
I can be serious with someone when I don't even know you yet. Just because I actually slept with someone 2 days before I met you.
But I'm gonna tell you why your argument is that dog won't hunt.
You
can finish it. Finish it.
I could have been sleeping with her just to get my rocks off. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, if you tell me he was in a relationship, now I'm just going on based on what he just slept with her and recorded.
He filmed the interaction.
Okay, okay.
The point is, he was upset with her and he was stressing her over her timeline. But then
Her timeline had to do with how many dudes in one day.
But he said he was upset because it was while they were supposed to already be talking.
They weren't even met when he did what he did.
They had met.
That's what I'm asking you. It's before they met?
No, it's 2 days before they started the show.
What show?
They never ever met.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay.
It's the hotel that the production company flew them to a hotel.
No. Here's why I was confused for a minute. This is on me. This is how you take accountability, ladies. Okay. I'm thinking I forgot that they were they never met before. I forgot the name of the show was Never Ever Met, but they actually been introduced through. I'm thinking in my mind that they never met before. They just got on the show to meet each other. So you're right. So this is a lesson. See how I said that in the middle of it, I realized my mistake and I say it. I don't keep fighting once I realize.
But all you gotta do is take up for yourself. Don't be trying to show us how to do it. We don't need you to show us.
This is a lesson. This is how it go. Because I'm just giving a lesson. This is how it go. Once you realize it midway, stop, say, and this could be men too, say, you know what? Oh, I get it. I'm thinking, and explain what your mistake was, then go back and say, oh, okay, my bad. I'm thinking I forgot the show was the Never Ever Mets, that they actually met online and
they were supposedly in a relationship.
Yeah,
and he was in the hotel, because what they do is they have you come to a hotel to prep you, right? Get you ready for a couple of nights, then you fly to be. So in the hotel that he was flown to begin filming the show, he invites the girl there. The girl then says, well, I was at the hotel and he told me that he was coming on the show. Like,
it ain't worth it no more, fellas. Leave it alone. They tell. Especially if you're going to be on television. They tell. He was wrong. Ain't no if, wait, ands, or buts about it. He was wrong.
I appreciate you saying that, because when a person is wrong, they don't have to say, you know what, I'm wrong, but the next time you're wrong, this is how you should handle it. No, just say, I was wrong and you were wrong. And see,
I'm saying because there's a big argument about women taking accountability.
But we weren't even talking about that argument.
Well, I wanted to put that in there anyway.
So that's the thing.
No, that was crazy.
Yeah. Very sloppy. And I think this is why men complain and say that women are better cheaters. No, we just think. Y'all don't think. Maybe it's not that we're such great cheaters, is that you guys just suck so badly and continue.
No, well, it goes to the other argument that men are better side men. Women are lousy side people because they will run and tell it. That proves that point for sure.
No, it proves the point that men are stupid.
No,
they are not good cheaters.
It does. Most men, I agree with you. Most men, and I would go as far as to say 95 to 90%.
99.9.
And 97% do not. If they're going to cheat, they don't know how to.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to challenge you.
I've never. Well, good.
I know you've never been caught. You've said that all the
time. When I was out there, I'm not out there no more.
Point is, I believe even you would get caught in this climate.
Shit. Well, okay. Let's just say, I will say this. I'm smart enough not to cheat in this climate. Damn it, there we go.
I wish I had some music. So I wish I had a different type of music, because
I don't care what kind of music you got. I don't cheat no more. I haven't cheated in a long time.
Child, please. Point is, I just said that you would get caught. Even you thinking that you're so slick and so you would get caught red-handed.
I personally don't think so. but I'm smart enough to know.
Well, let's put it, okay. I'm gonna take all the parameters off so that we can really have this discussion. I say that the 2004 Moe that I first met, if you brought him to 2025, he would have been caught up a long time ago.
It's about thinking. I would think that this
the technology is too advanced.
The reason why I never got caught because I was a thinker. So I would think not to cheat in that climate, in this climate. Don't even do it. It's about thinking. It's about.
Can I tell you guys? I wish that I could introduce you to the 2004 Moe, because he would not have stopped cheating. He would not.
I'm a changed man. Don't blame me.
I'm talking about the 2004 Moe.
Yeah, well, listen. I mean, I didn't. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying you would have gotten caught today. I'm just asking you to acknowledge that perhaps with the technology and with women being less willing to keep secrets that don't benefit them.
Christal, I was dealing with whores. They agreed. We had an agreement.
But even today's whores don't follow suit. There's no honor among thieves anymore.
I don't know, because I don't deal with those ladies anymore. Possibly not. You could be.
Possibly not. Come on to the question. All right, to the question for today. I'm not doing this because he won't even admit. I'm telling y'all, 2004 Moe would be calling me upset because he would have got caught out there with girls, sharing his stories. Just believe me, ladies. All right. And the chat too. When is it actually the right time to bring someone you are dating to a wedding? What is the window?
I would say the first thing is, what is the window to make it official? Because that's the key.
So if you're official, no matter, because some people become official very soon.
Then that's what it is. Once you're official, there's no safeguards no more. If it is, don't be official. There's no more safeguards. There's none of that. I don't care if it's 90 days before you're official, 6 months before you're official. You kicking it. You're going through the talking phase. You go whatever it is. Once it's official, there's no parameters to me.
Okay, so let me ask you this: what if you are official, and then? So are you saying, to Nola Darling's point, are you saying that you would not bring a woman to a wedding? Obviously you're not, because the girl that you brought to my wedding you weren't official with her.
We wasn't trying to be anything.
So would you bring a girl that you weren't official with to a wedding?
Yeah, if she just, I like weddings and want to go. She asked me. I didn't ask her if she wanted to go. She asked me, could she go?
What does it say about your relationship if you don't get the invite? I will be honest. I would feel, if I was dating a guy and he was he was like, yeah, I got to go to Savannah this weekend because my cousin's getting married. So I'll see you when I get back. I would feel like, okay, he's probably not serious about me.
How long have you been talking? Is this talking?
I don't give a damn how long I've been talking to him. If you're gonna go to a wedding, then that tells me that you don't take me seriously.
I think that's unfair. Because the wedding was scheduled before I met you.
But I'm saying, okay, let's say we've at least been talking for 2 months. Even if we're not official, I would expect you to want to take me to the wedding. That's a great date.
They set a date for a year ago.
That has nothing to do with me.
Huh?
Well, what does that matter how long ago the wedding date was scheduled?
Because the wedding date was established before you were. What are you talking about?
I don't care.
I don't like that.
Consumer O says not everyone is wedding appropriate, regardless of the relationship, in my opinion. That could be true, but I kind of think, like the guy that I took to the wedding that I was working, he was not wedding appropriate.
Did you know that beforehand?
No.
Why'd you invite him to the reception?
I told you I was stupid. It was 2012. I was out here trying to date and I was making mistakes. I can admit my mistakes. I know how to do that. I don't need the teachable moment.
Okay.
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 So 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. I would want you to ask me to the wedding. I could put on a really nice sundress. It's a great time.
But here's the thing. Who are the people at the wedding? Is this family?
Yes, it's gonna be family and friends at anybody's wedding.
See, no, but what I'm saying is it could be his mom's, it could be his father. You see, it could be his sister. And do you think it's that early to introduce him to your family?
I mean, because I was able to say now, when my children were little, that's different. But if I'm dating him, first of all, I wouldn't be dating anyone at this point in my life for 2 months that I did not see potential in, right? So I think it's a good opportunity for friends and family to see that person. It's a good tester because it tells you if they know how to be appropriate, how to stay out the way when they need to be, how to, and this is the thing. Like, for instance, we had a big party for 4th of July. If you invite someone around friends or family and they get irritated or angry because you are not up under them the whole time, that shows me that they're not ready. So if I went to a wedding with somebody and we've only been dating for 2 months, if he's over talking to his friends, I can entertain myself at the table. I'm okay without him being like, this is Christal and I can meet the people that he wants me to meet, but I also don't have to be up in everybody's face.
Okay. So with that being said,
not a potluck wedding. I don't like that either. That's weird. I don't like a potluck wedding.
So at that point, you said 2 months from the time you met him to the time of the wedding, to the actual wedding, not the invitation, but the actual wedding is 2 months. And you feel like he should invite you.
Yes. If he tells me I'm going to my cousin, I would expect him to say, do you do you want to go? Do you feel comfortable going? Like, if we're dating for 2 months, that I wouldn't expect him to be like, I'm going to my cousin's wedding. I'll see you when I get back.
Now you're dating. Which one is it? You met?
I said dating.
So you're officially dating.
I didn't say officially. We're dating.
Okay, so you might have known him for 90 days, but officially you've been dating for 2 months, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to get clarity and okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just don't think how would you feel if you had been?
That's fair because you're dating.
Yeah. But I also would feel comfortable telling my family, and I've done that. He and I are just dating. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to see how he looks in a suit. Does he know how to dress up? Does he feel comfortable dancing around family? Is he able to be personable? And is he able not to be super needy? Because some guys, you bring them around and they are upset if you're not up under them the whole time. I don't like that.
Did you guys go out of town before you went to the wedding? Because,
well, I said Savannah. So for Savannah, you don't have to necessarily, that's like an overnight trip or maybe even a comeback.
I'm cool with that. But I would tell anybody, an out-of-town trip will let you know other things that you might not think you need to know.
Yeah.
Go out of town. I don't care if it's 3 hours away. I would say 3 hours away or more. And feel what that feels like. And you'll know. You'll know.
Yeah, I think weddings are a great way to, and I do think it's also good to get people's opinion, because there was a guy I was dating. I didn't take him to a wedding, but I did take him to, I got an invite to New Edition, to Ronnie DeVoe's birthday party.
Scorpio, by the way.
Yes. And so, we had worked with New Edition. So we went to the party. So I brought him to the party. Again, my friends were like, huh? And I didn't know. Like, one of my friends pulled me to the side and said, yeah, he just doesn't fit with us. He was uncomfortable with them. They were uncomfortable with him. It just let me know it was a bad look.
Well, I would never let my friends dictate who. If I felt it comfortable enough to bring them there, I felt comfortable enough to be with them.
It's not me letting them make me feel uncomfortable, but I do like to, because sometimes you can overlook things. 9 times out of 10, like if I see a girl with you, I'm not a hater because I'm gonna be so if I say something to you like Mo, I can see you could do better than that, or I don't feel like y'all are a really good fit. That's not me hating. That made me be seeing something that you don't see because we're good friends.
No, I don't think that's hate, but that's like somebody's opinion. Forget the dating part. Just someone's opinion of you, and you think different, but you let that curve how you feel about yourself.
No, it would just make me look at him a little like it didn't make me break up with him. Obviously, I broke up with him later, but it didn't make me break up with him, but it did make me kind of be aware. Like sometimes you need to just get other people's opinion or just watch that person interact with other people. And I think that's what it was. I hadn't really seen him interact with other people. But no, Tammy, he ended up being a horrible person.
I think it can help, but I'm not letting other people tell me if I should.
No, I mean that doesn't make the final decision, but I do like to get feedback. Even like with guys, I told you I wanted to see how Adrian interacted with my guy friends and what they thought, because I felt like you would know more about men than I do.
Okay, that's fair. I get that.
Now you get it.
Again, no, I mean, get it, but I mean, you still have the final decision and be like, yo, yeah. I want to be with this man for the rest of I feel something. I could be on some, but that's fair though. I get that.
Yeah. I had one of my guy friends said, stop keeping the guys you date away from your guy friends. Let them meet him.
I'm the one that said it.
No, another person said it, but you might have said it too. But another person said it because they said like they think that, you know, you don't have they don't realize that you're able to have positive relationships with men, and they don't think there's a checks and balances there. So I slowly stopped doing that. But a lot of times the guy friends are right. You know,
here's the thing. I didn't meet a lot of Christal's dates and guys she was
because I didn't bring them around.
Right. And then when you told me about one incident, and I was like, yo, you got to stop because they need to see men who care about you.
Yeah.
And you know, and they need to see that. I think a lot of times dudes, if they know other men are involved in your life, before things escalate, or if they could escalate, they protect themselves because they know they have to answer to another man. There's someone that loves you and has your back and support, and they're not going to treat you like whatever. They're going to think about it. I mean, people going to get into what they're going to get into, but there's going to be a line because because if something does happen, they know they're going to have to, deal with something, or at least they're going to be addressed.
Right.
So that kind of thing. Yeah.
No, you were absolutely right. And the guy that you were that conversation you and I had at that point was about the guy that I brought to Ronnie DeVoe's birthday party, which was a horrible thing. But this other guy was kind of like a low-key stalker. And the guy friend was like, now you're going to call us if he's stalking you, but you should have introduced us to him before because... And then I tried to have two of my guy friends go beat up the guy that did not give me the $200 back because I was real pissed about that. So I did have one of my friends call him. One of my friends with a real strong New York accent.
Hey, yo, I don't know if I had somebody try to call me one time.
What?
Yo, I had a dude try to call me. He was like, yo, I just want to put you on notice. I'm looking at the phone like, first of all, I've never been scared of the phone. I'm just like, yo, I know where you work. And I'm like, yo, that was the lamest whatever.
What did you do to the girl?
I ain't do nothing to the, I mean, listen, I mean, I want to get on a situation on here, but you know the woman, and you even said, yo, she's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But because I don't want to deal with you no more, you're going to say, like I said, I've never been scared of the phone. So you talking behind the phone means absolutely nothing to me. You know, my work, come see about me, and then it happens from there. But to do that and then turn around and try to give me money basically to deal with you is insane.
The guy?
No, the woman turned around after that, and I accepted the money, by the way.
I was like, is this the person that was cash apping you?
No, this was another chick.
Jesus.
And she sent me $1,800.
Did she send you how much?
$1,800. But that's not important. But I'm saying that to say, like, because I wasn't rattled, you know. But you don't send nobody. You sending him on a dummy mission. You know what I'm saying? You putting his life.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
Or whatever, it could be in danger, and he jumping out the window, and he don't have a clue of what's going on, and like he's dumb, you dumb, and then when I told him that don't work with me, then she turned around to try to get my attention. She sent me $1,800. I put a down payment on the car, by the way, but that's a. I lived a wild life, y'all. I'm just trying to let y'all know. With the women, not in the streets. But
and I don't think I know about any $1,800.
No, you do.
Because I would have told you to give it back.
You did. I told you.
Okay.
Her name began with an H. That's all I'm gonna say.
And then there was a girl that was trying to send cash apps, and I kept telling him to disregard the cash app.
Back.
How did we? You know what?
Because
forget the weddings, Mo.
I blocked her, and you can send a message. So she was sending the money to send the message. And you told me, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna send it back. And I sent her the $40 back. Then she turned around and sent me $80. And then you was like, well, she's stupid, Mo. Keep the money.
Because then I got pissed at her. Oh, the burden I've had of trying to lead Mo down to a better path. All right, I need a break from this. Let's go to this video. I've got a series of videos. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we're gonna do something funny first because Jesus help us. I saw this clip on TikTok, and I pulled it because of this. I get tired of men saying that old school women were better because they didn't just care about money. And I just, I have another video for next week of some some melanated sisters sharing this. But this is the epitome of old woman. And I just want us to hear the old woman's thoughts on dating. And then I'll let you know if I agree with her. But let's just listen to Granny. This is Granny Spills having a conversation about men.
Such thing as a gold digger. All women are expensive, so pick one in your price range and shut the fuck up.
What do you bring to the table in a relationship?
Do I look like a waiter? Next question.
What's your best dating advice?
It's better to give 20 guys a chance than 20 chances to the same guy. You're a player.
She said you're a player, not wait a minute. You're a player, not something. It was hilarious. Did you guys I like that. It is better to give 20 chances to 20 guys than 20 chances to the same guy. Very good.
First of all, this is AI generated. That's not a real conversation. Let's start there.
I don't believe that. I believe that.
That's an AI anyway. The fact that you're even saying that is crazy. But that's an AI. But let's just say that's real, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation about with you. I was like, you would tell your girlfriends to go out and date women and figure out what you want. And when you figure out somebody, you do it. And when I said that, you said, no, Mo. I did not say that.
Because I am not telling my girlfriends to take $1,800. I am not, well.
Focus on, we passed the 8. Focus on what we just days ago. And we had a conversation about you saying, I was like, Christal, I'm single.
But I told no. But I did. I remember this conversation. But I don't tell my girlfriends that. Not at this age.
playing the old lady saying the same thing.
But I'm saying, like, at this point, she's playing the field. She's been married before. She's not trying to get married again at that age. I tell my girlfriends that if they want to get married, then dating 20 guys at a time is probably not a good idea. But if you are not trying to look for marriage, you claim that you want a relationship.
She said 20 chances. What are the chances for? The chances are for a chance for a relationship.
Chances are just to go out on dates and have fun.
Not a fool.
What's your philosophy on love versus money?
It's better to cry in a Lamborghini than cry in a Honda Civic. All men will disappoint you, so choose the richest one.
How old was your husband when you married him?
I was 25 and he was 75. Thanks to him, I haven't had to work for over 50 years.
What's your body count?
I've lost count since 1975. I'm enjoying.
All right, that could be AI.
Come on now. Come on.
It may be. Hold on.
Life, not collecting data.
What's your take on men who bring you flowers?
Flowers die, honey. My Chanel bag is forever. Know the difference.
Who's more loyal, your man or your girls?
Listen, sweetie, I've been married 3 times and I still got my same bitches from 1960. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Granny, where?
But there are a lot of old women that feel like that.
Yeah, but they're not on social media saying it. The fuck out.
Dude, and some people put their grandmothers. No, that's not true, because I got one with old black women. This is not AI.
Yeah, but they're not in a car driving around Midtown Manhattan. Come on. They in the crib under air conditioning, telling their story, and they're giving good advice to younger women not to make the mistakes, if they made mistakes that they made.
Don't confuse good pipe with a good person. One unclogs, the other drains you. What's your
AI thing.
You said what?
That's another AI generated, just like those pastors cursing in the thing. Please, people, please don't get confused. I know this AI thing could be a little confusing on what's real and what's not, but if you haven't been seeing it, and all of a sudden in the last, I don't know, 60 to 90 days, you've been seeing this, people speaking out of, it's AI generated, a lot of it.
A lot of them are, but old women do talk like that. And for a lot of people that do ask their grandmother questions, like if I could ask my mom used to tell me, never be with a man who doesn't have more than you. It's a lot of old school stuff that women said that is still true. And women, so I'm just saying the women back in the old days were not putting up with none of that. And you're right. Hey, you there. Jamal Bryant ain't AI, but it sometimes sounds like it. This is not AI. Okay, let's move on to this. You just credited that. Yeah. I saw this clip, and I feel like this clip supports my book, Dear Alpha Female, It's Not Him, It's You. This issue is one I think a lot of alpha females are dealing with in the dating, and I've never heard it articulated quite like this. So let me play this. Scratch the old lady, but it's true. She said cry in a Bentley, not in a Honda. But this young man is telling the truth, and I think that hearing a guy explain it, and maybe what men are feeling, it just kind of gave a little bit more clarity to the subject. Let's check it out.
Gonna sound crazy. This is gonna sound crazy. They're gonna say I've lost my mind because we're gonna get into it right now. A lot of people, a lot of y'all are not single. You're emotionally in witness protection. Love can't reach you, not because it's not trying, but because you built a system to block it and called it self-worth. We're gonna dig into this. Don't call me crazy yet. Don't call me crazy yet. The illusion of singleness. You say you're single, but emotionally you're still defending territory that no one is attacking anymore. You're dating from a...
I think that is so true. You agree?
That is fair. That is right. I agree with it. And I'm guilty of some of that. I'm just, that's real. That's real. But here's what play the clip that I sent you, the other clip that I sent you that you sent me after that, because that's real. You know which one I'm talking about?
I know which one you're talking about. Hold on. Let's play the second part of this one.
Anymore. You're dating from a trauma perimeter, not an open heart. You're not single. You're guarded. You're not, you mistaken solitude for strategy. You believe you're waiting for the right one, but really you're filtering every potential partner through an algorithm built by betrayal. You built walls so high, even good love can't climb in. And here's the thing.
I give that. That's real. I probably did that. Probably doing it. That's real.
There we go. Okay, look at you. Look at you taking accountability after all that other stuff.
If you making sense and it's speaking to me, I'm gonna say it. It's real. I'm human. That's real.
7 of them step. You get nothing out of
You and your cigars. But I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think a lot of people feel like
if they're being
abandonment.
say it again.
All the way. People won't even remember.
Hold on.
you got to be honest with yourself. I'm guilty of
Financially, physically,
all of it. Like, I still think you're single, but I think you're guarded.
Say it again.
He said you're not single, you're guarded. No, I think you're both. You're single and you're guarded. Yeah.
Well, but he's saying that you're not. You're saying that you're single, but really you're not available. When he says single, he's saying available.
I would just take the single out of it and say you're not available. I respect that.
Yeah, because you're not available if you have stuff. And what he said about attacking things that are no longer even involved. Like, I know I was like that for a long time.
Yeah.
I was guarding and protecting myself proactively against something that was not happening. Hey, Kim. And so that's a problem when you're protecting yourself against something that is not happening, and you're just, the fear of it is driving you. That's a problem.
I think that's human.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's human.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is, but it also means that you're not ready.
That could be true. I think that, you know, there's somebody that you will meet that will crack that code, that will let your defensives down and you see things a different way.
But you can't just sit back and wait on.
No.
You got to do some work.
You got to do the work. And like I always say, I'm open.
Right.
Let's be open. Let's get to that.
Yeah, I agree with that. You gotta, if you're open and you're doing the work on yourself, then I believe that the right person will find, because, but you can't just be like, well, this just me.
No. Constantly working on yourself. Constantly.
So how do you feel? Because you acknowledge that you could be doing that sometime. How can you do better in that area?
Continue doing the work. Time. I guess heal is the right word. It seems a little strong, but it might be the right word. And you see things and stay open. Like, because you just never know. Like, I don't want to be closed off. I don't know if I was ever totally closed off, but I could see in some areas where I was like apprehensive when maybe I didn't need to be, but I never felt like I missed out on the one or I let a good one go away. It just wasn't for me. I never felt that. But I will say that I saw things and I was like, and I'm not willing to go through, because I've seen what people have to go through sometimes in order to get that one. And I'll be like, man, I ain't doing that. I'm talking extremes. Like, you have to deal with somebody possibly cheating or go. And I'm like, I'm not willing to do that. Or moving funny. And like I said, not everybody has an agenda. You know what I'm saying? And that's the stuff that I'm working on. Like, not thinking people having the agenda, or, they might not be coming in like that. They might be coming in pure. That's why I say I'm open. So I got to keep that in mind, that being open and at least listening, because I'm quick to shut down some BS and keep it moving. You might not know that, but that's how. I'm just keeping it real. So where we at? I can't hear you.
Dang, I've just been talking. I thought y'all can hear me. I was really talking on here. I was like, I think it goes back to like what we were talking about. Like, you have to make a choice to be open and to be vulnerable and to allow somebody in. And I think you have to make that choice every time you go on a date. Like,
No,
that's your job.
1,000%.
That's not the other person's job. Your job is to make sure that you remind yourself to stay open, that you remind yourself to stay non-judgmental. And if you're not able to do that effectively, then you should not date. You can't blame it on the other person, at least from what I think. Now, Mo sent me another video, and I'm going to play this video. And Mo, I'm going to let you defend this video after I play it.
See these clips of all these women talking about where have the providers and protectors gone. Let a 60-year-old man tell you young men out there from experience. 3 different marriages, 10 different kids, 7 of them step. You get nothing out of being a provider or a protector. Nothing. Insults, ridicule, abandonment, that's all that awaits you. People won't even remember all the sacrifices that you made, financially, physically.
Here's what I would say. More times than you think, this is your uncle, father, could be stepfather removed and y'all still cool. This is the conversation that men hear growing up, a lot of times. And this is what you hear. And the older I got, the more that I found out, looking at my peers, my friends' relationships, when I get to the end, not the beginning, not the middle, when I get to the end where they are right now, a lot of what he's saying is true. And this
Does that not sound like someone that is bitter?
When it don't work, how many people aren't? Now, I'm not saying I'm totally over that fence and I'm just be like riding with them, and I still have some hope, but when you see it, and then when you see your friends go through that and not being appreciative, appreciated and seeing how, whether it's your kids or stepkids and how you raise them and how they treat you at the end, especially even if it's older. I know a situation of someone who raised stepkids, and then years later, the mother and them didn't work out. Now the stepkids don't even speak to him.
Yeah. I will admit, I've heard a lot of men mention taking on someone's children, and women too, because I have a girlfriend that did that same thing. And when the couple split up, the kids were not comfortable with that other person, even though they raised them from the time they were little. Speaking of that, Kim J says, my little sister finally found her love. She's 35, no kids, great career. He's the same age, but he has 2 kids. He has a great career also. What's your opinion on the 2 kids? I think it depends on the children, and I think it depends on the mother, his children's mother, right? And this is why I'm going to say this. It depends on how old the children are and how his relationship is with the children's mother. If he has a horrible relationship with the children's mother, then as soon as your sister marries him, the children's mother, I'm not going to say baby mama, but the children's mother is going to become angry and probably try to hate, right? This happens a whole lot. But if the mother and the man and the father have a good relationship, then, and she, is fine being a stepmother, then it sounds like they're both responsible. And that's, I'm happy for her. I don't feel like, I know I've said on here that I don't think if you don't have kids, you should be with someone that doesn't. I think that's a preference, but I also think it's not Bible. There are some people that are great step parents to their significant other. Now his kids are 7 and 2, so that mother is very at that. That's a very, there's no way for them to co-parent without being involved, right? So I would just say to you, my advice to your sister would be to make sure before she goes into that relationship that that man that she loves and his ex have a positive relationship, because I have seen what happens even when the kids are grown and the mother hates the father. It's going to be a long, hard road. And I don't think that should, deter her from, finding the love of her life. But I do think it can make her life a lot more difficult than she could ever possibly imagine, because 7 and 2, that means you are going to be there as their mom. You're going to be another mom, a bonus mom, right? And that 2-year-old, that's a baby. Like, and I just think it's natural I know for me, if my ex-husband and I divorced when my child was 2, that would have been that's a difficult time. That's a baby. So that means that anyone around that baby, if you start dating a woman and she has a 2-year-old, everybody's going to be, the 2-year-old's going to be on you, on me, on everybody that's in the house. Everybody in the house has to take care of the 2-year-old. The 2-year-old is not self-sufficient. The 7-year-old can talk a little bit more, but the 2-year-old, you have to really, I would want to know who was going to be around my 2-year-old and my 7-year-old. Step families are extremely difficult. I would suggest to anybody, before you get married to someone, if they have children, watch the relationship of the children and the other parent, because it can make life hell. It really can. And especially with the kids being so young, she could be in for a lot of really painful, interaction. Now, it may not be that way. He may have a beautifully mature ex that is not like that. But 9 times out of 10, that's just not how it goes.
I would rather, the younger the better.
Mm.
The younger the better. The older the worse.
Mm-hmm.
If they're out the house and they're established, it's better. The middle is the shakiest. The youngest is the best, because that child knows you and they can see for themselves.
I know guys that have come in and taken raised the kids from when, I know a guy that raised the child from when the child was 6 months, and the boy at age 10, you're not my daddy. You're not even my daddy. And so it just depends on how the relationship, the co-parenting relationship is. I have seen it happen with people. You would think at 6 months, that child doesn't know anything else, but yet it can always happen. And I would just like to go on the record to say, children can be grown and still be a whole issue. It don't matter. They can be grown.
That's fair, but I've seen
still be an issue.
I've seen relationships where they don't speak. I'd rather them don't speak because they're not involved. Like you said, it could go either way. I just prefer young, or they don't even mess with them. It could go either way. It depends.
So Hey You There says, in my situation I'm talking about, where the man raised the boy from 6 months. Yes, he married the mom. They were together for a long time. They got divorced, I think, after like 20 years, but the boy was raised. But it became a disconnect, because he was like, there were 2 other children that did belong to that man, and the one child that did not. That one child turned on him and be like, you're not my dad.
It's a roll of the dice. It really is. You never know how it's going to turn out. Some kids turn out, because they see the other parent. I think lifestyle has a lot to do with it. I think it could be, it's so many different factors and nuances that you just never know. You got to ask yourself, are you prepared to gamble and to see what this is? And it really is. Well, I was raised by a stepmother and I got a crazy situation, and it worked out, but it didn't work out. My stepmother was, until she passed, reached out to me. The funny thing is, would still send me $20 on my birthday when I was 40.
She said that's the limit. It's a $20 birthday gift.
was like, wow, we were both the same sign and everything, but at the same time, it's like, it's tricky, man, because it's so many layers in a new relationship and so much stuff that you don't know as a child that you're viewing from a child's point of view that you understand until you're an adult that and it's stuff because the kids are really, really in the middle.
They are. And I think no matter what, this is just Crystal's opinion. It's not fact. I think no matter what, children really want their mom and dad to be together. So they may have accepted it, but I feel like especially if they have seen their parents together, most kids at the end of the day still feel some kind of way about their mom and dad. And whoever is the outsider can definitely reap the benefits of some bad feelings. But I also think it depends on the situation. I do know some very healthy co-parenting relationships, but I think they're few and far between. So I would just say, to close out with Kim, I would just say to your sister, just observe that. And I would also say this, if I was going to marry someone with a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old, I would really encourage them to have a good relationship with their ex, because if you do not, the children are going to hurt. So whatever he has to do, whatever the 3 of them have to do, maybe they all have to connect and try to figure out a positive way to work it out for the children, because 2 to 7 means you guys are going to be here for 20 years. That's
fair.
Yeah. Tamasha says, I love my stepdaddy. They love me as best as their spirits could. I joined the military because of his influence. I'm blessed to have him. You had a beautiful example. And I do know there are people. I had a girlfriend, and this encouraged me. Her mom got remarried when she was 19. And she said she developed a relationship with that man, and she sees him as a father, and she didn't meet him until 19. So no. I'm saying there are beautiful examples that it can work. It just doesn't always, but a lot of it depends on the child. And for her being 19 and being open to that probably was the biggest difference.
I'm glad you said that. So I think being open is more important than being. So that kudos to her. Like, I like that. Like, the person being open is because once the person's seeing that you're being open, they feel like they're able to be. They don't want to push themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Because I felt like that with my situation. I didn't want to feel like I was pushing myself on Adrian's children.
But once you see they're open, you're able to pour in more.
Yeah, because you know what, you don't, even though you're an adult and you could be adult age, no one wants to be open to someone that wants to hurt them or doesn't want to receive them. We all kind of protect ourselves. So I think going in there, trying, it's like the step parent or the bonus parent can also be hurt by the children as well. So it's like, I've seen men specifically say, I don't want to get too attached, because once they're attached, they can become very attached to the child. Now, I will say this. I have a best friend, and then we can move on, because this is a beautiful example. I have a best friend who's the guy that she's with now, that she's married to now. When I tell you he is the best stepdad, her son is 12, and he is a better dad to him than his biological, and he's so loving and he's so involved. It's a beautiful thing to see, and she's very appreciative of the fact that her son has that. I wish that I had been able to get married a little earlier so that my kids could have had more of a father figure in their life, but it didn't work out like that.
Most situations, I had a situation where I broke up with a woman, but the daughter asked me, can I still come to the a thing that they had at their school?
I remember that.
I still went.
Yeah.
Now, I sat separate. I probably shouldn't have done that. I did sit separate. But I went anyway.
Yeah, because you gave her your word.
My word is very important, and it means a lot to me. And you know, so the fact that I said it, I feel like I need to go forth with it. And I did it, and she was, you know, but it was other sides that let me know the one daughter was very, very like, she knew her mother. I'll just say that. You know, I'm not anybody. She knew her mother, and she, you know, there was at least 3 incidents where I knew she knew her mother and how her mother was, but her and I had a relationship and we were cool, and I didn't want to disappoint her, even though the relationship was over.
Yeah. No, but I think that's a beautiful thing to do that, because I remember you saying you gave the daughter your word. But unfortunately, the daughter probably wanted that male influence, and you guys splitting up, it's kind of still going to hurt the kids, because it's like, I wish this person could be around, because, you know, there's a different dynamic that a man brings to a home than a woman does. And I think the children are always looking for both those presents, right? So when they go to their single dad's house, it does make it probably feel more like a home when there's a woman there. And the same token, when they come to their mom's house, it does probably, I know my daughter definitely wanted a father type figure. Like there was one other person she met besides Adrian, and he said she's easy to win over. Stone is not, because she was more open to a man. But then she saw that he wasn't, you know, he wasn't the person that was supposed to be there. But I think you have to be careful with children. And I think you have to be aware that the relationship is not just about you. Once you bring somebody else in, that child can suffer a heartbreak just like the parent can when that person is no longer there.
That part.
You know? So my friend was like, so now she feels like in her relationship, she has to take into consideration what this would, if they broke up, what that would do to her son.
That's fair. I like that.
Mm-hmm. I think kids do go to their single father's house enough for this to be studied. I know I have quite a few guy friends that were single dads, you know. So I think that we don't always hear about it, but there are quite a few. My husband, for a period of time, had custody of his daughters, 3 of them, you know, during probably the teenage years, which is when, hell, you don't really even want your biological children then, period, because they're all teenagers a while. But he had custody. So I think there are some good men, and there are some moms that are not fit, and there's some dads that are not fit. So it's good and bad on both sides of the road. But I think, you know, as much as I like to say here, like, I wouldn't suggest that, it's just because I see how often it goes bad. But I think, as I said earlier, we all have an opportunity to create the reality that we desire. So if a woman wants to marry a man with 2 children, just know what you're getting into and do your best to be a good mother to those children. Because if you're going to marry him and he has a 7 and 2-year-old, then, you know, you've got to be a mom. It's not even really stepmom. In the house, you're just the mom.
Can I say this? And this goes both ways, but I'm saying this from the the man's point of view to the women. Date the men, or date. It goes both ways, like, because I see it accepted, but in that, because I hear a lot of women say, you know, I don't want my son to date a woman with kids, but they want to be dated. So I be confused sometimes. I'm like, well, damn. Well, which one is it?
Well, I did not. Guys that did not have children, they would pursue me. I did not pursue them, but and I also did have, as I've said on here before, there were quite a few men that told me they did not want to be in a relationship with a woman that was divorced or had children. And that's fair. That's fair. Like, I have children. I think everybody's not supposed to be a parent. Being a bonus parent is still being a parent if you're married and that person's children are in the home. And I always told women, like, even if they're not in the home, because there are a lot of men that'll say, well, my kids don't live with me, so it's not the same. At any moment, if something happens to that mother, if the kids get tired of that mother, them kids could be in your house full time. So you have to go into it knowing that there could come a time when we have full custody of the kids. Don't go into it thinking, we only have to get them every other weekend. No, there will come a time when those kids are there full time and you have to be a full-time parent.
No, you're right. I think what the guys are saying, there's more pressure on us than it is on you. That's all they're saying. At that moment.
How?
At that moment. Because your kids are there. And he's just saying at that moment. It's not forever. Like you said, it could change at any moment. But for now, this moment, this is what it is. But it could change. You're right.
Everything can change. Everything is up for change when you're talking about children and family. There's so many different things that can happen. There can be, the child could be getting into trouble or have a situation in school where they need to change schools. The mother could pass away. The mother could go through a financial struggle. The mother could end up, you know, it's so many different possibilities.
No, you're right. I mean, we can play woulda, coulda, shoulda, and we can create any scenario we want. We deal with what's happening and knowing that the possibility could be.
Yeah.
And I think at the time, the guys are just saying, right now, this is what it is. We get charged for what could be. We're charging for what is right now. And
well, I think a lot of women, you have to. Women are more emotional, and I think we have to be because that's how we were created. But I also think, to go back to what Kim just said, my sister wants at least one child of her own. She's like my daughter. Her and my son are 1 year apart. That's a sweet relationship. My sister that I just met is really close in age to my daughter. But I would say, like, if she wants a child of her own, because that can also cause a problem. That can also cause a problem. If the child, if she wants a child of her own, she has to know that that could cause issues between his children and the new child, right? Because then it's like, oh, well, sometimes people feel like there's favoritism. So they should have those conversations, have hard conversations early on. That's how things get fixed, is by talking about it and not necessarily jumping into something that you don't know what to expect. So mention that. So if we have a child, how do we make sure that your children don't feel left out? How do we make sure? Because chances are, if those two children are split between the mother and him, his child with her, the new wife, will be in that home all the time. So that causes children to feel less than, or not, or feel like that there's favoritism. That can always happen.
Do you feel like, and that's true, do you feel like people treat the children according to how they feel about the step parent?
I think that if a mother or father has not been able to achieve closure with the relationship, the children can be used as pawns.
I'm saying the other parent, if she doesn't like the stepmother, but the kids, she doesn't like the mother, but the kids come over for the weekend or stay for the summer, does that bear on how she treats the kids? The kids ain't did nothing.
I'm just saying, it's like, it's the kid, the mother or father, whoever doesn't have them full time, when they get, this is another problem that people don't talk about. The person that gets them during the summer and every other weekend, they tend to have a lot of fun, big fun, because the person that has them all the time has to do all the hard, heavy lifting. The person that gets them every other weekend or in the summer, they take them to Disneyland, they buy them clothes. So it's always seen as like they get to have a little bit more fun with the children than the person that's doing homework every night. And I do think in some situations, the parent, the primary custody parent, does feel resentful of the children going and having fun, big fun, with the parent that only sees them every once in a while. But I've also heard the parent that only sees them every once in a while is like, I don't get them very often. I don't get a chance to be there for homework and every day after school. So when I do get them, I have to do that kind of stuff. But it also creates the kids a dynamic with the children, and they know how to play off of that. It's just a big mess.
The other parent, the step parent, she doesn't like his natural born.
Well, the only reason the stepmom won't like the biological mom is because the dad is telling the new wife all the negative stuff about the old woman.
What I'm saying is she brings them over, she drops them off. She doesn't like her attitude. This is her first time meeting the kids. She doesn't like her.
So you're saying, will a stepmom treat the kids wrong?
That's what I'm saying. Will she treat the, do you think there's a possibility she could treat the kids a little funny because she doesn't like the natural mother?
I think that's possible. I think that's possible in some cases. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Especially if she feels like the mother still wants the father and she sees the kids as a threat.
What if she feels like she might be better?
There is hilarious. You said what?
She might look, she don't like the way she looks. She's slimmer, she's fit. I don't know, whatever it is. Her hair's longer, whatever women compete against. Do you think that she takes it out on the kids?
I don't think that. I think that's a far stretch. I do think that.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be.
I don't think that they would treat them kids wrong because they think the mom is prettier than them.
Okay.
I think that most women that I've been around think they're prettier than the other woman anyway. Every woman will look at the new woman and be like, she ain't all that. Nah, nah, nah. And then the new woman looks at the old woman like, she ain't. That's, women are very convinced that they are the baddest thing in the room, even when they're not. So I don't think that most women even think that. They're trying to find flaws in the other woman. And the man may feel like both of them are beautiful. Probably does, because he was with both of them. So I think that's a natural competitive thing that women have. I don't think the majority of people would treat the child different because of that.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm learning. Trust me, I'm learning, but I just think that's a far stretch. I think that it can be difficult. People can feel threatened by the relationship. And I will say, people that have a child together have a strong bond. So it can feel uncomfortable for a new person to come in if that person has, because they feel like they know the person, right? Now, I can say this. I don't feel like that. I don't, like, my ex-husband has a new wife. I don't know him. She knows him. I don't know him anymore. But there are a lot of women that feel like they know that ex, and you don't. We haven't been together in over 20 years. I don't know him. I don't know him.
I will say this. A lot of women think because they have a guy, they have a bond, they have a kid with a man, that he has a bond.
Women have more of a bond than the man does often.
I'm here to tell you, it's not what you think it is sometimes.
But sometimes the man is sliding in.
I mean, because he knows he has access. Because he knows how you feel.
But what does that have to do with his actions?
Yeah, I mean, if he knows how you feel, he can take advantage of his act. It's like, what does sexually have to do with his act, with anything? It's just that you know you can do it.
Well, there are a lot of men that don't want their baby mom being with someone else. They feel very territorial of that.
That's the ego thing, but I'm talking about him being with, like, it's not necessarily, it's an ego thing. Ego and being special is not necessarily the same thing.
Well, we can't tell the difference.
Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to. You're not a man, but I'm just telling you, it's not necessarily.
Well, whatever reason they're doing it, it ends up poisoning relationships. But yeah, I really think that people need to do a lot of work with this, because there are so many blended families.
Unless he married you. That's something different. If he ain't marry you, he might not think you as special as you. He might not. But if he thought you were special, he would have asked you to marry.
Yeah. And then some people just marry all of them. And
that is true too. So you just never know. But I'm just saying, don't automatically think because you have a child with a man, he thinks that's special. Yeah. It can go either way. It can.
But I also think people have to realize, just because you were with a person during one point and period of their life does not mean that you know them in 20 years later. You do not know them. So in my situation, Adrian and I both were married in our early 20s. We're not the same person. So if our exes were walking around saying, I know how she is, you don't know me because you ain't been with me in over 25 years. So you don't. And I don't know you. You're like a stranger to me. So I think when you have not been with a person, you you cannot assume because you shared time with them at one point in their life that you still understand them and know them. The next person may get a different version of them because number one, they could have matured, and also because they may bring something different out of that person. They may be in a different space. It's just you can't think that. But I think a lot of people like to think that they're better than their. Oh, I know he ain't never gonna have a woman like me. You don't know that.
That's the whole point. Fuck out.
He probably doesn't want another woman like you. And it's just women need to stop thinking that way. But then men always think they can always go back. And trust me, when a woman's fed up,
men think they know how women feel about she thinks that we got a bond because we have a kid and I have access. I've heard that private conversations, and they feel like when they go over there, ain't spending no time with the kids, go in the room with her, come back out, and they feel like they always have access because not what it means to him, because what it means to her.
But there are men that feel that way also.
Yeah, but usually those men come from a two-parent home. Let's keep it.
A lot of men, they do have a special love for their wife, their ex-wife, or their child's mother. That can happen too.
Wife.
But I will say, hey, you there said, but that's how you end up spinning the block, and then he's the same as he was 10 years ago. That could be true. Or you could spin the block like Nelly and Ashanti, and it can work out great. I think they're such a cute couple. Sometimes spinning the block is good. Everybody's situation is different, but just try to do as much as you can to ask questions and have hard conversations early on.
That part.
Well, we are going to get out of here today. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on a Thursday. We're going to be back tomorrow for our regularly scheduled time at 10. Happy birthday, Blondie Monique. If you're still here, girl, happy birthday. Thank you for being a part of the XO family. We love you for that. You guys, please leave Blondie Monique some happy birthday love in the chat. If you are watching this on the replay, make sure that you leave some happy birthday love for our girl. But yeah, check us out tomorrow. We are going to be here tomorrow at 10. We are going to go through not just Cinco and Jay, but all the foolishness that fell out. Ooh. All the foolishness that fell out after the Never Ever Mets. And we also, which we were going to talk about today, but we didn't get to it. I want to talk about what the aftermath and the verdict from the Diddy trial. What does that say about dating? What does that say about people being flown out? What does that say about people, wanting a man to somebody may want a love contract? And, what does that mean if you're looking for a man that's going to pay your rent? Because a lot of women want that. Does that, if you want a man to pay your rent and pay your bills, like Babyface said, is there always a freak off attached? We're going to talk about all of that tomorrow on Relationship Recap. We'll go into, and then also the upcoming season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Are you here for it or you're not? Mo and I, there's a special event that we're going to go to next week. I'm going to fill you in on that tomorrow to kind of give us a little sneak peek. So we'll talk a little bit about Love and Marriage Huntsville, recap Never Ever Met's foolishness after the fact, and then do like we always do.
There it is.
All right, Blondie, have an amazing time. Double Nickels is a great space. I look forward to it one day. You have great energy, and we are hoping that please post some pictures afterwards. Send us a picture of you out, and we will post that. Have a good time. The rest of you guys, we will see you tomorrow night at 10. All right. We love you guys for watching. Be good. See you tomorrow.
Love you.